Suzy and Friends.
With Suzy Cato.
Oh, hello. I'm here. Hold on. Oh, that's better. Oh, Trevor's on his way too. I'll just see. Trevor?
Oh, here I am over here. It's all right. I'm okay.
Well, that's a crazy start to today's episode of Suzy and Friends.
In a podcast. I know. Crazy start, eh? I got distracted sorting out the stories and the sounds for today's episode. Sorry about that.
And I was at the bookshelf looking up fun facts. Oh, there were loads of books in the library with the coolest facts and loads of fun. And guess who I met there the other day? Thomas. Thomas and his little sister Rebecca both listen to the Suzy and Friends radio show and this podcast. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Rebecca. And Thomas has this week's brain teaser for us because he's loving them and he keeps asking his dad for new ones too. Are you ready for Thomas's brain teaser? Well, here we go. What's heavier? A kilo of feathers or a kilo of rocks?
Oh, Thomas, I feel like I should know this one. What is heavier, a kilo of feathers or a kilo of rocks? Look, if I imagine I'm holding a feather, it's so light you can hardly feel it. And if I imagine holding a rock, it's so heavy in comparison, isn't it? So, if I was holding a kilo of feathers and a kilo of rocks,
they would both be as heavy as each other.
Really? How? Rocks, like they're so much heavier.
But they both weigh a kilogram each. A kilo of feathers and a kilo of rocks.
Oh, wow. Yes, of course. I'm going to try that at home with my kitchen scales and test it with something. I could use tissues as the light thing and maybe some knives and forks for the heavy stuff.
Hey, maybe that's something you can test at home too, if you've got kitchen or bathroom scales. Which is heavier, a kilo of something light or a kilo of something heavy? Okay, but they both have to be a kilo each, okay?
Okay, now let's test your brain with something else. It's the competition with no prize. It's called What's That Sound?
I know some of you are super good at this game, and others are needing a few clues from their folks, and that's fine. If you've not heard a sound like that before, clues are really handy. I wonder if you'll need a clue for this one.
Okay, it's the sound of something you might hear at a museum. Okay, listen up. Whakarongo, here it comes.
What's that sound? He ahatera tangi. Let's listen again.
It's the sound of something that was first built over 300 years ago, so definitely something you might find in a museum. We'll play that sound again for you during Suzy and Friends and again later at the end of the podcast when we tell you what that sound actually is.
But there's lots happening before then. Tom E. Moffat is back with a handful of his favourite jokes. Pryce is going to tell us about The Awhi Warrior, a book by Lisa Cherrington. And I get to read the story Hickory Dickory Kick by Peter Millet.
We've also got fun facts, cool to kōrero, and much more. But first, how about 3 jokers from our Joker's Corner? Here's Cody, Emma and Harris.
How old are you, Cody?
11.
Excellent. And you've got a joke for us?
Yeah.
Yeah? Toru wha.
Why did the bunny cross the road?
I don't know, Cody. Why did the bunny cross the road?
Because it was a chicken's day off.
What's your name?
Emma.
Now, you got a joke for us?
Yeah.
Yeah? Go on, see if you can make me laugh.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
Boo-hoo.
Sorry I made you cry.
Aww. Very good. What's your name?
Harris.
Excellent, Harris. How old are you?
11.
Okay, and do you have a joke for us?
Yes.
Toru wha.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Moo. Aww. Good one, Harris. Love it.
It's New Zealand's favourite kids show, Suzy and Friends, with Suzy Kato.
Have you heard any of those jokes before? Well, they were goodies, weren't they? And we're always looking out for more jokes. Suzy@suzy.co.nz, that's our email address. Send us a joke. Or you can visit our website, suzy.co.nz, and you can find a huge number of jokes on our joke page, suzy.co.nz.
I like the joke about the rabbit. How about you? Crossing the road because it was the chicken's day off. Love it. So I thought today we could have some fun facts about...
Fun facts. Fun facts.
Fun facts.
rabbits. Fun fact 1. You know how in most cartoon images like Bugs Bunny, rabbits are shown eating carrots? Well, in the wild, rabbits don't really eat the crisp orange part of the carrot that we eat. They find them too sweet, apparently. Instead, they only eat the crisp green leaves of the carrot, which humans can eat, but most of us throw into the compost bin. Fun fact 2. Single bunnies are lonely bunnies. So if you were to get a rabbit as a pet, you should really get 2 of them. Rabbits are very seldom ever alone. They're born in litters of around 7 babies at a time, and they tend to live in family groups of up to 30 rabbits in one underground burrow. Phew. Fun fact 3. A mother rabbit is called a doe, a father rabbit is called a buck, and a baby rabbit, it's called a kitten. And a baby rabbit is born with its eyes and its ears sealed shut, and it doesn't have any fur. But within 3 weeks they emerge from their burrow covered in fur and ready to forage for leafy green plants that they love to eat. And that's Fun Facts for today.
Wow, I did not know that. So rabbits are best if they're living in pairs if you have them as pets.
Yep, and rabbits can live for up to 12 years. So that's a long time to be lonely if they're in a hutch by themselves.
Interesting. 12 years, eh? Hey, Suzy.
Yes, Trevor?
How can you tell if a rabbit is getting old?
I don't know. How can you tell if a rabbit is getting old?
They start getting grey. Hairs. Get it? Hairs? Rabbits? Hairs? Sorry, bad joke. Rabbits are very good at kicking too. But before I tell another joke, how about you kick into this week's story, Suzy? It's rugby season, so what better story to tell than Peter Millet's Hickory Dickory Kick?
Hickory Dickory Kick. It's written by Peter Millet and it's illustrated by Bob Darroch. Hickory Dickory Kick. The timer slowly ticked. The clock struck 1. The match has begun. Hickory Dickory Kick. Hickory Dickory Dock. The flanker lost his sock. The ref cried, "Pew!" while turning blue. Hickory Dickory Dock. Hickory Dickory Rip. The jumper felt a split. His underwear caused all to stare. Hickory Dickory Rip. Oh no! Hickory Dickory Ding. The centres hammered the wing. They squished him flat. Kaboom! Kasplat! Hickory Dickory Ding. Hickory Dickory Slick. The halfback pulled a trick. He hid the ball behind the maul. Hickory Dickory Slick. Hickory Dickory Splat. The fullback slid on a pat. He lost his grip and did a flip. Hickory Dickory Splat. Hickory Dickory Ruck. The tight head came unstuck. He bent his leg around his head. Hickory Dickory Ruck. Hickory Dickory Knot. The joke was on the prop. His boots were tied, both side by side. Hickory Dickory Knot. Hickory Dickory Trip. The winger ran and slipped. He stripped the wool from Granny's spool. Hickory Dickory Trip. Hickory Dickory Toot. The Lucy popped a boop. His stinky bum cleared out the scrum. Hickory Dickory Toot. Hickory Dickory Bark. Old Buck ran on the park. He stole the ball and dodged them all. Hickory Dickory Bark. Hickory Dickory Pop. The ball collapsed and flopped. There is no spare, the ref despaired. Hickory Dickory Pop. Hickory Dickory Clap. The ref called off the match. The ball is gone, we can't go on. Hickory Dickory Clap. Hickory Dickory Kick. The timer whirred and clicked. The clock struck 2. The game was through. Hickory Dickory Kick. And that's the end of the story. What a crazy rugby game. Maybe you know somebody who plays rugby. Or maybe you play rugby too. Hickory Dickory Kick. Well, if you want to find out more about this book, you can visit petermilletbooks.com or oratia.co.nz.
This is Suzy and Friends.
With Suzy Cato.
Ka pai tō mahi. Thanks for that, Suzy. And if you want to see Suzy read that story and meet her cat Loki, who makes a surprise visit at the beginning of the video, find a link to our YouTube channel on our website, suzy.co.nz. There are over 200 stories, including that one in Suzy's Book Corner. And you might know some of them. They're pretty cool.
Yes. You might even have copies of some of the books, or you could get copies from the library to read along with me. That would be awesome. Suzy.co.nz is the website for an easy link to the channel.
Now, how are you getting on with the competition with no prize? What's that sound? He aha tera tangi. Do you need to hear the sound again? Here we go.
It is something that was first made over 300 years ago, so it is something you could find in a museum, but you might find them in your grandparents' house, or you might have a modern version of one of these in your house.
Yes, I have seen them in people's houses from time to time.
Ooh, Trevor, did you just give us a clue?
Who, me? Maybe, yeah.
Ka pai tō mahi. Quinn, have you guessed the sound yet? Quinn listens to the podcast while Mum makes dinner. They told me in an email that they sent which also has a joke. Thanks, Quinn. Okay, are you ready for Quinn's joke? Here it comes. Why did the policeman stop the elephant?
Oh, I don't know, Quinn. Why did the policeman stop the elephant?
Because he was hiding something in his trunk.
You know, I keep gumboots in the trunk of my car. I wonder if the elephant had gumboots in his trunk. Ow.
Oh, we have loads of very clever kids sharing things on the Suzy and Friends podcast. Things like jokes, poems, stories, and sometimes their thoughts. Pryce is up next with what he thinks about the book The Awhi Warrior by Lisa Sherrington. Thanks, Pryce.
Hi, my name is Pryce and I'm 8 years old. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Awhi Warrior by Lisa Sherrington and Sarika Rana and illustrated by Amy Cameron. And Awhi means a hug, and this guy's a hug warrior. It's really, really good because it has lots of Māori words you can learn. The story is about Tina who goes to visit his nana. And then he says, why is he standing here? Why can't he come inside? And then he said, Nana, I want an awhi, and he was tearful. He couldn't go visit his nana because it was COVID that time and he was in isolation. He tells them to go sit down and wait until the COVID's done. And then at the end, they can finally have an awhi. My favourite part about the book is all the way at the end because it reminds me when I came back to my mum and then when we started hugging each other. The illustrations are really cool, and at the end they made it like very, very colourful and stuff. They put lots of detail and really colourful, and it's really good to learn Māori too. Really, really good. It's good for most ages because it teaches you a lot of Māori, and the illustrations are really, really colourful. My name is Pryce, and that was the book review of The Awhi Warrior by Lisa Charrington and Sarika Rona, and illustrated by Amy Cameron. I recommend that you all read this book because it's really, really good.
Kia ora, Pryce. The Awhi Warrior by Lisa Charrington. It's a great book, and you can probably find it at your local bookstore, public library, and probably even your school library. If you can't find it at the library, see if you can request a copy.
I reckon. I'll tell you what, we can all be awhi warriors and need big hugs at times, don't you think? I love awhi. Hugs. How about you? Oh, do you know how to ask for a hug in Te Reo Māori? He awhi māku is what you ask if you want a hug. It means a hug for me. He awhi māku, a hug for me. He awhi māku. Try saying it with me. We'll start with he awhi, a hug, and then māku, for me. He awhi, māku. And together, can you say it? He awhi māku, a hug for me.
Okay, so what do we say if we want to ask if you want a hug?
We say he awhi, a hug, mau, for you. He awhi mau, a hug for you.
He awhi māku, a hug for me. And he awhi mau, a hug for you. Have I got that right? Yes, I think I have. Very cool.
I reckon. Well, you know, hugs make me feel so good. Jokes can make me feel good too. How about you? I love to laugh. Well, our friend Tom E. Moffat lives in Tauranga, and his job is to make people laugh. Here he is now.
Kia ora, I'm Tommy Moffat, and I've written 14 books for kids, including more than 2,000 jokes. Now, curl up and get comfy, because today I'm letting the cat out the bag with some hysterical cat jokes. What happens when you get a new cat? You start from scratch. Which creature wants to eat itself? A catfish. What does a cat say when it hurts itself? Meow. To chase more giggles and to get your claws into my books, visit writelaugh.com. Meow. That's WRITE laugh.com. Ciao.
Ciao, Tom. Thanks for those very cool jokes. 14 books. Ka bai tō mahi. And knowing Tom, there's more where those came from. Hey, if you have a joke you want to share, email Suzy at suzy.co.nz. We want as many jokes as possible to see if we can make the whole world laugh.
And if you need another clue to help guess he ahi tēratangi, what's that sound, it's time to hear the sound one more time.
He aha tēratangi. What's that sound? It's the sound of
grandfather clock. So a grandfather clock, it's a bit like a wooden clock tower that sits in your house that stands up against the wall, and it has this thing called a pendulum that swings backwards and forwards, ticking away the seconds to the top of the hour. And when it chimes what time it is, bong! So it sort of goes like that for 1 o'clock and bong, bong for 2 o'clock, and you get the idea.
Visit your local museum and see if they have a grandfather clock there. Even if they don't, I bet they have lots of very cool things from the olden days. Some things we might not even see anymore.
Well, that's about it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the Suzy and Friends podcast.
I have, and I love that so many kids just like you are a part of it. Thank you to our kids just like you this week. Cody, Emma and Harris for the triple treat of jokes, Pryce who told us all about the book The Awhi Warrior, and Thomas who shared this week's brain teaser.
Thanks Peter Millet who let Suzy read Hickory Dickory Kick in Suzy's Book Corner.
Thank you for the email and the joke, Quinn, and thank you to all our friends at New Zealand On Air.
Thanks to all our friends at RNZ, especially Brianna, Jamie, Phil, Tim and Duncan.
And thank you to you for joining us.
And we look forward to joining you next week. A new episode of Suzy and Friends in a Podcast drops every Monday. But of course, being a podcast, you can listen whenever you like. Arnie sent us an email and says that he listens to it when he's going to bed. And sometimes he has to listen to the same podcast a couple of nights in a row because sometimes he goes to sleep halfway through. Wake up, Arnie! Wake up!
Love it! And we love you. Thank you for joining us. Ka kite anō. See you next time, my friend.
This is Suzy and Friends
with Suzy Cato.